Hello, Porsche enthusiasts. I'm going to be changing the oil today on a Porsche Cayman 981. It's a 2015, and just wanted to give a quick video on how it's done. Real quick over here, we've got a few tools that we're going to be using. We've got a 3/8 ratchet. We're going to have a 3-inch extension and an 8mm hex head or Allen head. We've got a 27mm to go over the filter wrench, and we'll probably be using Mobil 1 weight 40 motor oil, but we'll get there soon enough. All right, let's go ahead and get under the car. All right, so we're gonna put the portable oil drain dolly right under the oil pan and get started. We're gonna go ahead and loosen it up, and I just loosened it up. We're gonna take this and then by hand with the socket, and we're going to start draining the oil. And it'll probably come out a little bit at a time and then all at once. And just like that. And as you see, I got this. It's still on here, not too much of a mess. I definitely recommend wearing nitrile gloves to keep the oil and contaminants off your hand and all that other good stuff. So we're gonna let this drain probably for 5-10 minutes just to make sure we get most of it out, and then we'll come back and start on the oil filter itself. All right, what we found is the oil is finally empty. We're gonna go ahead and take a rag and kind of wipe down the area, make it nice and clean. I'll get a better rag here in a little bit, but just for right now. I got a new crush ring for the oil pan, and we went ahead and put that back on. And we're gonna go ahead and hand thread that up there first. Make sure you got it good, it feels good. Nice hand thread in. Then we'll go ahead and take the tool, the hex head, and go ahead and socket, take that and just again hand tighten that as much as possible. It is supposed to be, I believe, 37 foot-pounds, but we'll just get it nice and snug and come back with the torque wrench later. And just a little bit. So you get a ratchet 3/8, and again, nice and snug, just nice and tight right there, nice and snug. And then we'll come back with torque wrench in just a minute. All right, so we got our torque wrench. We got it set for 37. We're going to turn it, and we got the click. And we're good to go. All right, so we have a 74mm oil filter wrench that this is Porsche specified. It fits right over the oil filter canister. We've got a 27mm socket that'll fit over that. And then we've got a wobbler with a 3/8 to 1/2-inch extension and a 12-inch, or a converter with a 12-inch extension to the 3/8. That way we'll be able to get up here pretty good. So, okay, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and put it up under here. We get my camera guy's gonna get adjusted to see what we're doing to get some light up here. We're gonna go ahead and put the filter wrench on there. Make sure we get it nice and snug. And we're just gonna turn it just a little bit by hand, with the wrench, and then we're going to pull the oil dolly back under. Okay, it gets set here, and we did it. Okay, with this particular oil filter wrench, being that it's pretty thick and it's hitting this bar up here, I actually had to loosen it, and then I had to tighten the oil filter canister up just a little bit so I could get enough clearance to remove that out. Turn the oil filter by hand, canister. And pulling it out. So far, not too bad. And that's it. Okay, we're taking the old filter out. Okay, we're gonna just drop it in the dolly here. We're gonna dump the rest of the oil. As you see, it's pretty dark. Probably a good time to change. Had about 7,000 miles on it in 9 months. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and let that drip here for a couple minutes. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the canister and just clean the oil off with the old rag. You know, just make sure it's nice and clean before we put it back up there. Just looking at the canister looks in great shape. Nothing that I would see for cause for concern to replace that. Okay, so we're gonna take this little Craftsman kind of picker tool here, and we're gonna use that to get the old rubber gasket off, O-ring. And then we just kind of pull that right off. Okay. All right, so we have our new O-ring that came with the filter package. I'm gonna dip my hand in a little bit of oil. We're gonna just get a little oil on the O-ring so it's nice and ready to go. Since it's been sitting in the box for a while. We're gonna go put that back on the canister. And then get that down where it needs to be, all the way down. Okay, and then we just work it down, right down where it's supposed to go. And there you go. All right, looks good. All right, and then we're gonna take just a little bit of oil, and just a little bit in there, just a little bit, probably a little, maybe an eighth, just enough to get it started, and then put the oil filter in, and we're gonna spit it back up. All right, we're gonna take the filter and then get it all up in there, and we're gonna twist it by hand, and I'm gonna go ahead and get it started. Okay, so just a point that when you do get this filter up here, you gotta really push up until you feel it a little bit, and then twist it several times. And then I just took it hand tight. I just got a hand snug, and then that's it. The last step is just look at all the oil drips and just kind of do take a nice clean rag and then clean everything up, make it look nice and new. Just gotta get under the oil pan, over here. Again, where we got everything, and just do a nice little cleanup there. Make the car as good as new. And I think everything that we see, we're good on the bottom side of the car. Okay, now we've got to fill the oil, so we'll open the trunk, take the right lid cover off, and then there's our oil container, and we're gonna go ahead and undo the oil lid. Okay, and we'll put it here in the back of the trunk, and then we'll start to proceed to fill the oil. Okay, so what I did, I went to Walmart. I got some 0-weight-40 in the 5-quart containers. We probably want to do about 7.5 quarts, and then test it from there, get the engine warmed up, and maybe go for a run before we do our final measurements, but our final fill. So we'll start with a 5-quart, and then at least half of the second round of Mobile 1. Go ahead and pour it in. Okay, so we want to get the car started, get the oil spun up, get it heated up a little bit, get the vehicle temperature up, oil pressure up, and oil temp up before we go back and check the oil. We're going to do this for probably another 10 minutes, and then we'll come back. Okay, so we took her for a little bit of a test drive to warm the engine up. We put just a little over seven quarts in there, probably 7 1/4 quarts in. Took her for a test drive. Got the engine warmed up to temperature, probably just went a mile or two, turned the engine off. We waited a minute, checked the oil level, and it was showing that we were just under the minimum. So at that point, we put in roughly 1 1/4 more quarts, and we are now 1 bar under maximum. Everything looks great. Took it for another test drive. It stayed at 1 bar under maximum. And I think we are in a good spot. So thanks for watching this video. It's been a lot of fun. Thank my son Brandon for videotaping. Have a good night.